Welcome back. In today's video we're going over the Scarpa Zodiac Tech GTX, an ultra versatile boot that's perfect for hiking and mountaineering in a multitude of different climates. The Zodiac Tech is an awesome option for those of you that are looking for an ultra versatile boot that can do a number of different things. Maybe you're spending the majority of your time doing a bit of sort of summer mountaineering and hill walking, which is perfect for this boot. But you want the option to potentially do a little bit of lightweight winter mountaineering as well, where maybe there's a little bit of snow on the ground, there's the chance that you might need some crampons, but you're not doing some sort of full winter sort of ice climbing and that kind of thing. That's really where the Zodiac sits, and it is a really popular boot with both mountaineers and also a lot of the rescue teams here in the UK, just because of that level of versatility. So we're going to go through the features and the build of the boot, and we'll talk through why these features are important as we go through. The first and probably the most important thing when it comes to a boot is the materials it's made of. Now this is using a Purwonga leather. It's using a 1.6 to 1.8 mil leather, so it's giving you a really good, durable, robust outer finish, which is also still very breathable and water resistant as well. So this is backed by a GORE-TEX membrane, which makes it fully waterproof up until the point where there's a massive hole in the top. So it's perfect for those wetter climates like here in the UK, or potentially if you're using this in snowier environments where that snow is going to melt and eventually soak into the boot. That leather on the outside is going to be the most breathable option you can have when it comes to a leather boot, while still giving you a good level of water repellency and that durability that's ultra important when it comes to a sort of mountaineering, scrambling type boot where it's going to get scuffed and scraped on rocks as you go up. We've got some embossing across the top of the boot, just here, which a lot of people think just makes the boot look nice, but it also helps prevent the leather from stretching and bagging out, improving the overall durability and longevity of the boot. We are seeing a little bit of fabric around the tongue of the boot and also around the back, and this is part of Scarpa's sock fit. Sock fit makes it ultra comfortable to wear for long periods of time. It flexes really nicely when you are using it in more dynamic situations. Say you're doing a little bit of light summer or winter scrambling, this gives you a good range of flexibility and makes it super comfortable around the back portion of your foot. The sock fit also stops anything getting into the boot, so if you do it up properly, this sits really nice and snug around the top of your ankle, so the chance of any snow or debris getting into the boot if you are doing a bit of summer scrambling is much, much less. Coming down, we are seeing a nice fabric tongue, and as you can see, tongue comes up to about here on the boot, so that is the level of which your waterproofing comes up to as well. Any higher than that, then you risk the chance of it coming into the top of the boot, so just something to be wary of there. We're seeing 3 cleats as we come down the boot, which allows us to get a really nice secure lacing on the boot, and it gives us a bit of adaptability. So if you prefer to lace your boot slightly differently, maybe you've got a slightly narrower foot, so you lace the boot slightly differently just to get a slightly more secure fit around the ankle, you can still do that. And then we've got a nice long extended lacing system which goes very, very low to the top, similar to your approach shoes, so that we can get a really nice secure fit around the front. So if we are doing a bit of scrambling, the shoe feels nice and comfortable and nice and secure. We've got a really high rand along the bottom portion of the boot, which is going to help improve the longevity and durability of the boot. It's going to save the leather from any light scuffs and scrapes to that lower portion of the boot. And we see it comes up really nice and high across the toe box of the boot. This one adds a bit of rigidity, so when we are using crampons, we've got a really nice, secure, comfortable fit, but it also means that if you are scrambling or walking in rocky environments and you're kicking rocks, that's not going to impact you and it's not going to damage the boot either. Coming down, we've got our BAS technology system, which is going to help improve the stability of the boot. This is a stiff boot because it is B2 rated, and we'll come back to that in just a second. But by having this system built into the sole unit of the boot, it's going to give you a good level of stability, while also keeping you nice and comfortable, so that you can still use this as sort of a long, extended day walking boot as well. As many of you know, if you wear a really, really stiff boot, it's not as comfortable as a slightly softer boot for longer days. So that system in there is just to help not only give you a good level of stability, but also help improve the comfort. And this does run under Scarpa's Active Fit, which again we'll come back to in just a second. Located directly below that, we have our nice lip at the back of the boot, which allows us to use a semi-automatic crampon. And this is a B2 rated boot, so it will take a semi-automatic crampon. We've got one just here, already applied to the boot, and we will do a little demonstration of how to put it on over the top of this now. What this means is that you can use this in snowy or cold environments. What it doesn't mean is this is capable of being used as a winter climbing boot. So if you're going up to the Cairngorms, as I did in a pair of these very recently, and there is some snow on the ground, potentially quite compacted, it's quite slippery, that's a really good time where you can start to look at using a pair of crampons, maybe a little bit of light winter scrambling as well. What this doesn't allow you to do is do sort of ice axe, dry tooling and winter climbing. That's not what the boot is designed for. But if you're going up to do a little bit of sort of early season winter walking and there's snow on the ground, a bit of ice, then you have the option to put a pair of crampons on if you wish. Then we get to the bottom of the boot and we're seeing a Vibram Mont rubber, which is a super sticky rubber that's going to give you loads of grip on uneven surfaces, but also on rock as well. And we've got a climbing zone at the front. So as you can see, we've got a relatively open tread along the boot. We've got a really nice heel brake here, which helps dig into mud and stops your boot slipping out when you're going downhill. That open lug pattern means we're going to get a good level of grip, but we've still got a good surface area to give us traction on things that aren't going to sink into the lugs, like rocks. And at the front here, we've got a nice big open climbing zone, which is going to give us a really nice area to use as a purchase if we're doing a bit of scrambling, or we need to sort of use just the end of our foot on some of those more precise areas when you're doing a little bit of that scrambling or ridgeline walking. So overall, a really nice boot. If you're looking for something that's super versatile, maybe you're like me, who realistically for the most part of the year is doing a bit of sort of hiking, summer mountaineering and that kind of thing, but you want the ability to use this in some of those lighter winter conditions, then this is a really nice option because it's not overkill for those other parts of the year. In terms of the fit, it's a medium fit. It runs under Scarpa's active fit, so it's got a slightly broader toe box to allow for your foot to settle nicely, especially if you're using it and your foot is spreading as you put pressure in through your toes. But it's got a relatively narrow heel cup, which really locks in the heel and keeps you super secure. Overall, I found it a really comfortable boot. For any of you that have come from a more flexible, softer soled boot, it's going to be a bit of a learning curve. Stiffer boots aren't necessarily as comfortable straight out of the box, and they do take a bit more breaking in, so that's well worth remembering. But overall, if you're looking for an ultra versatile boot that can be used in a multitude of different climates and different situations, then the Zodiac Tech GTX is a fantastic option. If you've got any questions about what we've discussed today, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. And like always, if you could like and subscribe, it really does help us out. We'll see you next time.